The young man killed in the Aztec High School shooting in New Mexico last week has now been laid to rest in New Mexico. Francisco Fernandez Jr. was just 17 years old.
Police say a deranged gunman dressed up as a student and walked onto the campus with the intent to kill. The incident very, very personal for Team 12's Charlie Edsity.
She joins us now to share her firsthand account of gun violence in a new series we're debuting tonight called Impact.
The shooting at Aztec High School has a very personal connection to me because two of my cousins are currently students there and were on campus when the shooting happened. Now, my whole family is so incredibly thankful that we can say that they are safe. They were not harmed, but my cousin did tell me that she was having to hide inside of a closet and was able to hear gunshots. I feel compelled to talk about something that happened to me because unfortunately, now in my family, there are 3 people who can talk and say that they have been the victims of gun violence at a school.
The fear and uncertainty could be seen on the faces of the children.
Face covered with the eyes cut out.
Dressed in camouflage and carrying a loaded gun, had calmly walked on campus and into a classroom.
I saw him walk in and I was there, like a wave of confusion came over me.
He simply walked into the room with a gun.
He said, "It's a 9mm. I said, "Is the weapon loaded?" And he goes, "Yes."
The realization, at least for me, that something very serious was happening was when I saw my teacher. She was very calm. She told all of us, everyone just get on the ground. And I remember she started to get on the ground herself.
And the main thing was keep everybody calm and make sure nobody did anything that would agitate him.
I will never forget my classmate who was sitting behind me when she crawled right up next to me, and she had a death grip on my shirt.
Before the police arrived, Henkel had evacuated more than 200 students, plus 21 of the 32 hostages.
I actually had to walk past him and have my back to him, and I did not know what he was going to do.
He walked out with 1 student and the teacher and gave himself to the Glendale Police Department.
I did think that I was going to die. And as a 14-year-old, having that kind of a thought cross your mind inside of a school where you should feel safe. School should be the last place where this would occur. I asked my mom, I asked her what that was like to get that kind of a phone call. And she said it was the worst phone call of her life. I do remember sitting in that math class with my same teacher and having class as normal after the fact. And every so often when the door would open, my heart would kind of skip a beat a little bit because it would just bring back that memory of what happened when one of my classmates walked in with a loaded gun. It makes me sad and it makes me angry. This is not something that you want to have in common with other people. And my hope is that somehow, some way, we can restore the safety in our schools, because children should not be worried about their safety when they go to school. Parents should not be hesitant or worried or scared about what could happen to their child when they go to school.
Wow. Charlie, first of all, thank you for sharing that story. I know it wasn't easy, and I would imagine that you never get over something like that.
You don't. I mean, you can move on from it, but yeah, getting over it and entirely forgetting something like that is not something that you can do. Very traumatic, very scary. But like I said, I've moved on and processed it, you know, as well as I could.
And that happened 17 years ago.
Yeah.
Back in 2000.
But every time you see a school shooting,
Yeah, I mean, especially doing this job and being in this line of business, it's hard sometimes to hear about some of the violence happening at schools and not think about what happened to me. You know, and so I just, you know, learned to work through that. And I think it helps me as a journalist to have that perspective sometimes because I know what that's like.
Yeah.
And thank goodness you and your classmates and everybody made it out alive.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Charlie, thanks. Well, if you've been through a big event and you'd like to share your powerful story with us, email us at impact@12news.com. You can also connect with us on the 12 News Facebook page.